Welcome to the Koffe Brown Show, where we stir up conversations as rich as your morning coffee.
What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to this week's edition of the Koffe Brown Show. I am so excited. We got some troublemakers in the building. We're going to have a great conversation tonight. Fellas, what is going on? What's good with you? What's going on, fellas? Vincent, I can hear you. Jason, can you hear me? Jason, Vincent, can y'all hear me? Can you hear me? You can't hear me? You can hear me? I can't hear you. For some weird reason, I cannot hear you. So strange. We were like just having a whole pre-show dialogue, and now I cannot hear anything. I can't hear the fellas. Go out and come back in. So weird. Like we were just having a whole pre-show dialogue, and now I can't hear you guys. Jason Thibodeau, can you hear us? Jason Thibodeau, can you hear us? Okay, I just heard a little bit of sound. I heard just a little bit of sound. Yeah, go out, come back in.
I can't hear you again.
Okay, go out, come back in. Go out, come back in.
Hold on, I'm gonna have to get out and come back in. It did it again.
Okay, cool. All right, y'all. So welcome to the show. We're having a little bit of technical difficulty. Who knows? Technology is doing what technology does, and that is being disrespectful on tonight. But welcome into the show. The fellas are going to be back. We were just having an entire dialogue, and then all of a sudden, whoop, there it is. Can't hear anything. Can't hear anybody talking. So we're going to wait for the guys to come back in, and we're going to get it done. Okay. All right. So it is sound on my end. I can hear everything. Okay, so I can definitely hear on my side, which is a good thing. So I can definitely hear.
There we
Jason?
go. Yeah. I don't know what happens. It's like every time we go through that.
Tripping.
Yeah, it did it the last time too.
Yeah, Vincent.
Koffe, can you hear me?
There it is. Now he's back.
Okay, there it is. I don't know what the deal is with that, but we're gonna go ahead and get into it. Listen, what's up, everybody? We're gonna try this again. So I don't know what's going on with this technology, but we're not going to let that stop us tonight. So what's going on, everybody? Welcome to this week's edition of the Koffe Brown Show. For some weird reason, technology is not being respectful, but we're going to get on into this show because we are 4 minutes in. So digits, I interestingly enough, I know you two probably heard about the situation with the lady that was killed by ISIS.
Darn shame.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh my God.
I heard a little bit about it.
Oh my God. Did y'all actually see the footage?
I seen some of it. It was bad. It was real bad.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. I hear a bunch of excuses too. Oh my gosh, he was fearing for his life. Not really. He just took that as an opportunity to do something stupid.
Yes,
there's no way he could have been fearing for his life if he walked to the side of the car and shot into the car. How you fear for your life if you walk to the side of a car and you start shooting inside of the vehicle? That is definitely not fearing for your life.
Sure not.
No, definitely not.
It's intentional. That's intentional. So,
well,
I don't
foresee shame is what it is.
Yeah, I don't foresee that any good for whoever that cop is.
That is so unfortunate. I was like, wow. I mean, and it was crazy because one of my a lady that I know, she was telling me about it, and she was like, the lady was very irate. She was upset, and then and I said, but what does that have to do with you just clipping me? My goodness, really?
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. My sister, I was on the phone with my sister the other day, and she was like, she got a text from one of her students' parents who said that her student was picked up by ISIS. The girl is a U.S. citizen. Wow. She did not have her paperwork on her, and they picked her up.
Wow. See, that don't even make sense to me.
It does make sense. I'm like, y'all just picking people up because they're not. I mean, how are you determining What's the deciding factor that says to you that I'm not a U.S. citizen?
Correct. Hold on. I ended up seeing somebody post something today, and they said that it is a U.S. ICE agent that is like Hispanic or something that actually got picked up by another U.S. ICE agent, like today or yesterday.
See, that's crazy.
Wow.
That's bananas. You picking up your own people,
right?
That's crazy. That's
you have no loyalty whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm sorry. And I'm kind of baffled by the criteria. Like, what is the criteria? You know, when I was at the border recently, they were harassing the crap out of me. And I was telling one of my, another lady, I was like, listen, it really has nothing to do with your skin, how your skin actually looks. It's just harassment at this point. Like, y'all just harassing people at this point for no apparent reason. It's just off. You just literally just bothering people, and there's no real logic behind it.
Don't make no sense.
Yeah.
Rights.
And the guy was like, "Are you a U.S. citizen?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Are you sure you're a U.S. citizen?" I said, "Well, what do I need?" I was like, "What do I need to give you that will tell you that I'm a U.S. citizen?" So he was like,
I've heard some people even had passports and they still took them in. So I mean,
yes, true facts. So I said, what do I need to give you? That would let you know I'm a U.S. citizen. He was like, "Well, do you have your driver's license?" I said, "Yeah, I got my license." So he was like, "Well, that will help me to be able to determine." And I was like,
"Really?"
If somebody has a green card, they have a driver's license. A lot of people with green cards have driver's licenses. That doesn't mean they're U.S. That means that they're able to be here, like a work visa or something like that. But I don't have to be a citizen to have a license. Yeah, all of that stuff. So, I mean,
this is ridiculous.
It's just a lot going on, y'all. It's a lot going on. President Trump is still trying to tap into other countries to control other countries' narratives right now. Like, dude, stay in your own backyard. Deal with your own situation in your own house.
Yes.
Right. He's trying to make power moves and he ain't even taking care of what's here. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And kudos to the oil companies for not buying into that.
Yep.
Facts. Jason Williams, come on in here.
Oh, we got another Jay. All right.
What's up, fam?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Jason Williams supposed to be in here with us. He's talking about what's up, fam.
That's right.
But no, it's just like it's so many different things going on, and we are getting closer to this decision for the schools being shut down. And based on what we're hearing, it is definitely a go that they're gonna close those schools down. It's just they're just gonna have the meeting as a formality, but they've already decided that they're gonna close those schools. It's just a formality, just for the sake of the public feeling like, or quote unquote, making them feel like they're involved.
Right. You know what I mean? That's ridiculous.
When in fact,
once again, he was voted in, and he's
voted for ignorance.
He's continuing everything he mapped out from his first presidency. He's carrying it out. He's finishing it up and adding new things to it. So I'm trying to see. You want to make America great, but to whose standard?
Cause we ignorant as hell. Not ignorant, but ignorant.
What is greatness? What does that look like?
And who actually defines greatness? Who actually defines it, for sure.
And
for sure.
And it's very few things that he has did that was halfway decent or good. But look at a larger list of other stuff that's been it's not bad. It's not benefiting Americans
at all. Not. None of it, hardly.
No. It's really not.
And you know what's funny? It was funny because Wall Street Trapper on Tuesday on the Trap session, he was talking about how, people are going to be upset with him about what he said, but he was talking about how every single president literally goes in and takes out what the other one did. They literally are waiting for an opportunity to take out what the other one did and then do something different to get some kind of credit and then leave out for the next president to come and do the same thing, which literally takes us backwards every single time.
So
that is ridiculous.
It's a rubber band effect. It goes one way, it goes the other. And I'm trying to see how is that great?
It's not benefiting us. It's not benefiting anybody because at the end of the day, nothing sticks. It's literally like throwing bubble gum on a wall.
And it was crazy. None of them get along. Yeah, they get along for camera and
they don't. Just for the camera.
This why if you think about it, you could tell they didn't because you're going to undo policies that the other one did.
Right.
You didn't even sit down to take the time to figure out why they did this and for what reason.
Right. I mean, it's like the health insurance. Why would you want to dismantle health insurance? That's not smart at all. You want a country full of ailing people instead of thriving people? Why would you want a country full of ailing people instead of thriving people? That doesn't make cognitive sense. And then
I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then when you really think about this picture about this ISIS situation, you're taking all of the labor force out. So who's going to do the work? All of the blue collar work, because if you let's just face it, let's call a spade a spade. We know that in America, Americans, based on how our country is designed, how it's set up, Americans are naturally lazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like seriously, we do everything we can to get something done quick and not have to put a whole lot of work into getting anything done. We got fast food, this, fast that. You even got to the point where you don't even have to wait to get your oil changed anymore. You can just sit in the car, wait 5 minutes, let them change the oil, keep going. All this quick microwave kind of stuff that we have makes us lazy. It makes us very, very lazy. And even to the point where, I was watching this segment a couple of days ago and they were talking about how now people don't even have to go in and walk through the grocery store. All you got to do is order your food and you don't even have to walk through the grocery store. Somebody's going to bring it out to the car.
Yeah.
Again, more laziness.
Or bring it to your house.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll bring it to your house. Instacart.
Yeah, I've actually almost been hit by these people, by the workers at the grocery store going up and down the aisles with these carts loading up other people's groceries, and I'm sitting in the store almost getting hit by them trying to hurry up and fill other people's orders.
I'm sorry, man. I like going to the grocery store.
Thank you.
Now, I don't like going to the grocery store. I'll be honest. I've never liked going to the grocery store.
I'm going to tell you what I don't like.
Necessary evil, though.
And it triggers my anxiety. And I really don't have it, but when I go to the mall, I hate going to the mall. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like the mall either.
It's not the whole environment is not how it used to be.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Now going to the mall back in the day used to be the joint. Like if you
right.
go to the mall, you taking your crew with you, it's like a whole group, everybody we going to roll to the mall.
Yes.
It was a big
it was a social event, a free one.
Yes.
But here's the thing. And when you go in there, and I'm gonna say this, is some of the adults, but the majority of these kids do not know how to socialize. They don't know how to function in social settings.
Yeah, true.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, and that's been going on for a while though, Vincent. It's been significant.
Since COVID, it's got extremely worse.
Yeah.
It's bad, man.
Very much so. But people really don't want to be social anymore since COVID. Like people don't really want to go to like big events,
man,
or like go out and just do stuff. I was in a meeting the other day, and interestingly enough, they were all talking about the rodeo, right? And this one lady said, ever since this situation with COVID, she's like she starts having an anxiety attack at the thought of being in a big crowd like that.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, I can't even psychologically handle being in a big crowd. And you know what Jay said? He's about, I go with Smith and Wesson.
Well, you know,
You
I
need
got
to
my
go
homie
and
Sig with
get
me
on in
usually, but still.
get on in the studio, Jason. Stop playing. Somebody he goes
Right.
I'm very familiar with Smith and Wesson,
Right.
Jason, and we
y'all.
have a
Y'all
we have
must
a
be
very
cousins
good
or something.
relationship. Well, we have a very good relationship, man. A working relationship. Oh,
Oh, y'all
Correct.
been together for a while.
oh
Okay.
yeah.
And I always pack my homie Sig with me too. He always come hang out with me.
Oh, okay.
Wow,
Sig,
that's
huh?
so funny. That is so funny. Well,
Hey.
listen, we've had our banter, y'all. We had to go through our technical challenges. We had our banter. And it's time to tap into this topic for tonight. We got a good topic tonight. Listen, did you check out that topic?
I may have just a little bit. I may have.
Did his whole face just continue? I mean,
I may have.
I love it. I love it. But listen, tonight we're focusing on discipline and consistency and
Mm-hmm.
how it actually applies to long-term success. You know, I was in the gym this morning at 4:15 a.m. and one of my gym buddies, his name is Mercy, right? And so he was like, "You're late. You're late." And
His
I
name is
was like,
Mercy.
his name is Mercy. He's African. His name is Mercy. And he was
Okay.
like, "You're late. You're late, Coffee." And I was like, "Am I?" And he was like, "What time are we supposed to be in the gym?" I said, "No later than 4:08." He said, "Again, you are late." So I was like, "Oh my God." But but even with that, he was like, "But I still want to applaud you for your discipline and making sure you got here, even though you're late." And when he said that, I thought about our show tonight about being disciplined. When you have made a decision and it's not off emotion, it's not driven off emotion, it's not driven off of anything but the fact that I made this decision and I'm married to it. Period.
Mhm.
I'm married to it and I'm not going to divorce my decision. I am married to my decision no matter what comes my way. This is my decision. I don't need external drivers to get me to go do it or force me to say, "Oh, let me remind you about the decision." No, this is my decision and I'm going to do it. And so I was thinking about that, when it came to the show, because like when I travel kind of extensively at certain times of the year, and I'm not able to have my quote unquote regular routine, but my commitment is to working out, period.
Right.
Whatever that means and wherever I am, and however much or little equipment or whatever the case might be, I may even have to throw on a YouTube video. But the bigger picture again is it's the decision that I made. And success is built on a lot of small decisions that result in a huge outcome. But you got to make the small decisions. So when you think about exercising, for some people, they're like, "Oh man, I'm not getting out of my bed at no, I'm not getting out of my bed at 3 something in the morning to be at gym at 4. Ain't no way. But if you really think about it, it doesn't matter if you go at 3 something or if you go at 4 something or 5 something or 6 something or 7 something.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Just go.
irrelevant. The point is exactly that you're going. That's the whole point in
Mm-hmm.
the nutshell.
Yeah.
And so, how often, guys, do y'all see people who talk about they want a certain result, but they haven't made a decision to marry a actual goal that will help them get to that result? How often do you guys see that?
On one behalf, Koffe, you see it quite a lot because honestly, if you talk to them, their approaches will tell you that they're not consistent. They
Mm-hmm.
have no plans in place.
Right.
You said something just real profound just now. The small things lead up to the big things. So the small
Correct.
accomplishments lead up to the consistency of you being where you need to be. Like you said, you got to be married to it. You got to live, breathe, and eat it every day.
Every day.
But some people are not willing to do the sacrifice. They're partially in and partially out.
Right. Every little thing will sway them one way or another. And here's the deal. Let's just be honest with each other. We've all been there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We've all been there. But if you notice, the people who have always been able to get the best results are the ones that are the most consistent. They're not always right.
Yeah.
They're not always correct in their method or anything else, but they keep showing up and they keep trying to go in the right direction.
Yeah.
Oh man,
And I can respect that.
Man, I know 3 people like that. They're on the P Coffee Brown show.
Right. Like seriously, you know,
Weekly.
I mean, like, yes, perfect example. You know, perfect example. We could be doing a whole lot of different things right now. Like literally, we could be doing a number of things. I was on another podcast, like right before we started our podcast. But like I always tell people, I have an obligation every Thursday night. This is my obligation. This is my commitment until we're not, until the season is done. I'm like, this is a commitment that I have. And so it's really something that's really important when we talk about being able to get to those levels of success and those pinnacles where we want to go. And a lot of times I think people don't really define what their level of success translates into. Like what does this level of success translate into for you? Because we see all of these other people, all these other different influences and all this other kind of stuff in these different platforms, and they're talking about success and yada, yada, yada. And so we see it from their lenses, but that doesn't make it my reality. And when I think about that and I contemplate that, I go, wow. So if you're marrying your goal, and then once you marry your goal, first of all, before you even marry the goal, that courtship part about like what is your definition of success and why? Why do you define success as that?
You know what? If there's a goal I have, I define my success on the bullet points and the small goals that lead up to the bigger one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think a lot of them don't know how to do the footwork to get there. Actually, honestly, when you're consistent with something, it's a form of obsession. Honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because sometimes your consistency means that you have to pull away from people, that you mean to isolate yourself. So most successful people, they're obsessed with their goals and consistencies, and they isolate themselves to get the results they need.
And they're another thing too is they're not attached to how it makes them feel. They're attached to knowing that this is something that I must do.
The result.
It's not about how it makes me feel, because if I go by how it makes me feel, then I'm definitely not going to do it. Because if you think about motivation, right? When you think about motivation and people go to these conferences and all kinds of stuff like that, and we've all been there. Jason and I know we've been to a whole bunch of, different environments, especially in the industry where we are part of, in the direct sales industry, where there's always something, an event, and it's just so inspiring, so motivational. But at the end of the day, you got to go back to where your real life experience is. So then what keeps you motivated? What keeps you energized? What keeps you pressing towards the promise that you said you want to see happen for your family? One thing that a lot of people have to remember is you got to write things down. You got to write things down. You got to write it down. If you look at my notebook, you go, why do you write the same exact goal down every day? Because like what Vincent said, I have to make this my magnificent obsession. I got to be obsessed with the fact that I am required to read a specific book every single day. Every single day. I'm required to look at a future plan that I have every single day, and just kind of look at it and just literally read the same plan, read the same information, go into the same exact book every single day. Nobody's gonna come to my house and knock on the door and say, "Hey, Koffe, remember you're supposed to do your book. You remember you're supposed to do that." And then I do my grant applications every single day. I was sharing with everybody before we pushed into this new season. that there was going to be some things mandatory on my end that I had to do consistently to add value to all of us. You know what I'm saying? And every day is not, it's not where I feel like I want to come sit in my office and do what's required. I don't feel like doing it, but that's besides the point. that has nothing to do with the fact that this is a result that I'm, you know what I mean? You know, Jason, when you think about this from the perspective of having something as a result that you're after, what is it that you're willing to do to get that result?
Well, here's the deal. The first thing I always ask myself and others is, do you really want it? Because people will do things they don't want to do now to have things later in life. Does that make sense? And you got a bunch of people that just live life, while they're younger, and they never really set goals. They never really accomplish a whole bunch of stuff other than living life, and that's fine. But then they get older, they start getting up around our age or older, and they have nothing to show for it. Nothing was put aside. They had no investments. They have nothing to leave their family other than debt and stories. So for me, one of my goals is to make sure I leave my kids with something tangible to other than a bill. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Insurance policy, so that way they can go invest in houses and other investments and things of that nature. Well, guess what? I put myself in a bind sometimes financially, just making sure that I have things set up so that way if something was to ever happen to me, they don't have to go through that same struggle.
Right. Right.
I mean, technically, if something happens to me, my family just became a millionaire.
And when you think about that, you said something. How bad do you want it? How important is what you're saying to you, not to anybody else? Just how important is what you're saying to you,
right?
That you're willing to do whatever it takes. One of the traders today was talking about pain points, and they were talking about, it was a story about a dog who was literally sitting on a nail. And somebody came over to the house to visit them, and they were like, what is that squealing noise? It's like, oh, that's the dog. Well, what's wrong with the dog? Well, he's sitting on a nail. And they were like, why is he sitting on a nail? He said, because it's not hurting him bad enough. It's not hurting him bad enough to make a move, to make a different decision, to make a different choice. And when he said that, I was like, oh, that is kind of crazy when you really think about it. How we're willing to suffer when we know we can do something different, as opposed to being in a suffrage position.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's about making that decision and being married to that decision and literally fighting through all of the stuff that of where we are, basically. Like, we'll say stuff like, oh, I'm not comfortable, but you're not uncomfortable enough to do something different.
That's like seeing people drive around with bald tires and everything, and everybody's like, oh, I'll be all right. I'll be all right. I'll be all right. Then you have that first rainy day and they can barely make it to work, scaring the crap out of themselves and everything else. Sometimes you just need a challenge or something to make you uncomfortable.
But
and if you're not willing to make yourself uncomfortable, the Lord will do it for you at some point.
But that's the interesting thing about being a human being, is that in most instances, that's when that change actually happens, when something shows up that is opposing. It's some kind of opposing energy that we say we didn't want to experience, but we literally attracted it to ourselves because we did not choose when we had the opportunity to choose. In the greatest book ever written, it talks about, I put before you life and death. Choose life. Why would you say choose life? Common sense in my head would be, there is no other choice.
Not if you're going to stay living. Amongst living. I mean, that's just kind of one of them things, that's a morbid thing, but you know what I'm saying. But yeah.
But I mean, but when it says that in the good book, it's not just talking about from a stance of living, breathing, a living, breathing
Right.
organism. It's talking about life, period.
Yeah.
Choose life.
Decisions and stuff. Yep.
Yes. Choose the
Mm-hmm.
betterment for yourself. Choose the betterment for your life.
You know what?
Go ahead, Vincent.
It's something just popped in my head when you said that, and it's something I've noticed for a while. And even with myself, I never figured it out until I got a lot older.
Mm-hmm.
I had got used to being, I was comfortable being uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I've always pushed myself and challenged myself. I've never been complacent.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a mindset thing. So a lot of times that lack of preparedness from people is because they're comfortable being stagnant.
Mm.
They don't want to be uncomfortable. They don't want to have to work hard. And that's why a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times when we go to other countries, they refer to Americans as lazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you have to be, and then some people they just scared of a challenge. They're
Yeah.
cowardly.
Yeah.
They want to play. I'm a play it safe. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do. No, man. Guess what?
Mm-mm.
No.
Ain't
If
no
you
playing
want,
safe.
if you want it, you have to live, breathe, and eat it. Like you say, Koffe, I keep every day when I get to the house, when I empty my pockets, I have all kind of sheets of paper. I done wrote stuff down throughout my day.
Mm-hmm.
Literally. And I've been like this since I was a kid. I always have a goal, hey, man, I want to do this, I want to do that. And I kept it with me. And a good practice, some people don't believe in it. I love setting New Year's resolution goals. Literally for myself. I keep them with me at all times in my wallet. It's always there. And
But
I
that's
try.
good though, because not just keeping them there, but actually looking at them. And I'm sure
Oh
you
yeah,
do.
I look at them. They're
I'm
a
sure you
reminder.
do.
I look
Yeah,
at them,
I'm sure you do. I'm definitely sure that you do.
and as I
And
knock them off, I highlight them,
yeah.
and the highlighter is a reminder. Like, man, I did that. I got that off my list,
Mhm.
and it,
And
it
then
gives you a sense of
accomplishment.
accomplishments, man.
Yeah. And too, Vincent, every day being able to look in the mirror at the close of the day and say, I did what I was supposed to do today. Even if it was one thing, family, sometimes it's not a matter of it being multiple things. It's a
Hmm.
matter of you having that one consistent bullet point in your life that will
Hmm.
spearhead and skyrocket all the other bullet points. You just need to
Hmm.
start with one thing. No matter what that one thing is, you got to start with that one thing.
Hmm.
It could be a matter of you saying, you know what? I'll give you an example. I used to get up at 3 in the morning. Now I make sure I get up between 3 and 4. I give myself, a little bit of grace depending on what time I go to bed. Because sometimes I find myself, going to bed a little bit later, and then when 3 hits, I'm like still feeling like I need to sleep for at least another 45 minutes or so to really be able to get up and go push myself to go hit this
Hmm.
gym. But I stopped putting myself inside of this box to make me feel like, oh, I didn't get up at 3 on the head. No, I got up between the 3 and the 4 o'clock hour that I set myself. I gave myself this window of time to
Hmm.
make sure I'm getting up between this specific window. And then as time progressed, like on Wednesday, I have to be in the city. I'll get it. I get in. I move around a little bit later on that day because I'm going to be in the city.
Hmm.
But the goal to exercise every single morning, it does not change, period. To get up and do that every single morning is what matters, is what matters. And you have to look
Hmm.
at it from that perspective and say, listen, you got to get in a rhythm. You got to get in a rhythm. You got to get in a flow and a rhythm. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that life is not going to happen. You're going to be going to different places. You're going to be in different environments.
Hmm.
Life is not designed for us to be like in the same exact place every single day of our whole entire life. That's not realistic, and it doesn't make sense. Okay.
You right?
So you still have to make sure that you still are, again, married to the decision, whatever that decision is. It could be one decision, two decisions, three decisions, four decisions, five decisions, however many decisions you need to make. You got to be married to it. You got to make that commitment, because that helps to push other areas of your life into patterns of consistency. It starts with one thing. For you, it might be that you just say, you know what, I'm going to read 2 pages of a book every single day. Okay, fine. Read those 2 pages of a book every single day. And give yourself a time slot where you're going to be reading those 2 pages of a book. So like when I was sharing earlier about the book and the plan that I have, kind of like what Vincent was talking about, my commitment was to do it in the evenings. I did it in the middle of the day one day, but I didn't get the same kind of feeling when I got in the bed that night as I did when I did it in the evening, where it kind of pushed into my subconscious as I was going to sleep, where I'm going to sleep thinking about it, I'm waking back up thinking about it. When I did it earlier,
you broke the routine up.
Yeah. When I did it earlier in the day, it didn't have that same impact. And so I said, oh, okay, I see. So I got to do this as my evening routine as I'm closing out my day. Another thing that you got to consider is, when you get your routines down, you got to do, like Jason talked about this one time before, maybe a couple times before. He was talking about, and he was talking about how he's not being negative, but he's definitely making sure he's not oblivious to the fact that opposition has to show up.
It has to. Yeah.
How you gonna grow?
Right. When opposition shows up, it's literally that test to prove that what you're saying that you want to have, what you're saying that you want to do, what you're saying that you want to experience is really what you really want to do.
So my question is this, Koffe. When your consistency is broke, how do you readjust to get back on track?
Let me tell you, it's funny that you say that, because like during the Christmas holidays, I'm so glad you brought that up. I wasn't getting up early like that. I was getting up later and still going to the gym, still working out, still doing everything I needed to do. But because I didn't have an obligation to, have to do any traditional work, I was kind of going to sleep, bed whenever, getting up whenever, kind of just taking a break, right? But when I first attempted to get back on course, it was a nightmare. It was absolutely horrible. And so what I've discovered is, it's kind of like what Eric Thomas says. You got to do it always, no matter what else is coming. And that's what I'm learning, not to break the pattern of consistency, Vincent, but leave it intact. Even if I have to get up for a short period of time and then go back and chill. But still get up for that short period of time.
Yeah.
At that same time.
You're putting things in place to make sure that your consistency is not broke.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Like literally, I had to tell myself that I have to keep this system in place regardless of what time of year it is, where I'm at in the world, what I'm doing. Just keep this pattern of consistency intact. Don't forfeit it, because it just takes, it's almost like it takes like 3 or 4 times the amount of energy to get that actual system back in running order. It's like the craziest thing. And it's like, and knowing my schedule, I'm not gonna be able to chill like that no other time of the year. Like not based on my schedule. So I just have to tell myself, or condition my brain to understand that this is what we're going to do, regardless of what time of year it is. This is what we're doing, period. And leave it at that. And that way I don't have to worry about it. But that's what I'm discovering, because I know for me, it's horrible. I'm not going to front. It's horrible. Like it took me probably maybe 9 days to really push myself back into that drive. I was like, I gotta push myself back into drive. And it took me about 9 days to do it. And I was getting so frustrated to the point where I was like, you know what, bump this, I'm just gonna do it. It's pissing me off. And I just kind of forced myself back into that rhythm. And then another thing would be to be mindful of how I set my surroundings to make sure that my surroundings complement that decision. That's another thing. Because my surroundings wasn't complementing that decision. And I had to catch that too. So I got a question for y'all.
I'll let me.
When it comes to you not being motivated, what system helps you to stay focused?
When it comes to not being motivated, what
When you're
system
not motivated, like you're just totally not motivated, but you know that there's something you have to accomplish. What system keeps you focused?
I'm gonna tell you what motivates me off the jump. One, I'm my biggest competitor. I literally, and this may work for this may not work for other people, it may work for me. I literally get upset and pissed off at myself. Like, you know what, man? Nah, I refuse to be my worst enemy. And I know it's something I want to do. And while I'm sitting here not pushing myself, someone else is moving faster, further, and getting where they want to be. I need to do the same thing.
So I'm
literally
your motivation never fades?
I may slack, but the minute that I see it, prior what's the word? Experiences, things from the past, I use it as fuel. Like literally, people underestimating you, thinking you can't do this. Really? Okay. I'll show you better than I can tell you. You can back me back to a wall if you want to. I guarantee you're not gonna like the outcome. Because I'm gonna go even that much more harder to go past you. Due to the fact because you don't think that I can do it. You don't think I'm capable of it, or I can't accomplish it. See, some people they're not built for challenges like that. Because soon as it happens or the opposition happens, they stop. What do you do when you're exhausted? Koffe, you be in the gym. When you are totally exhausted, you at the breaking point of like, you know what? Screw this. What's gonna keep you going?
Some water.
Besides,
and I make sure I have it, with me.
Oh, you hydrate.
Literally.
Hydration.
That's funny.
Hydration. No joke. Seriously. Like when I feel that exertion, like to the point where like I'm ready to, and I know my session's not up. It's water for me. And I make sure that, like, matter of fact, it's in the car already.
Okay.
Because I know that's what I need. That's my fuel to keep me going. If I hydrate, I'm gonna fight through. If I don't hydrate, I'm not gonna fight.
I bet it's something else that keeps you motivated. Guess what that is? Seeing your results that you perceive, you see future Koffe looking like.
Oh, absolutely.
That's what fuels you. Same thing with me. Me being in a different position, me accomplishing a goals. And honestly, the biggest motivator are my kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
They never have to, when they speak about Dad, it's always, he never gave up. He constantly pushes. He wasn't just a one trick pony, one type person.
Yeah.
He's multifaceted. He had a lot of different things that he could do and was involved in. Some people, I'm a king this, I'm a queen this. No, it's a lot involved with being the king, and it's a lot involved with being a queen. But do you have a kingly mindset or a queenly mindset? Let me stop because I'm sitting there pushing out titles for books. Let me stop.
No.
Lotus,
Honestly,
we got
what I will say
somebody
is this.
Hold on one second,
I-
Jason. We got somebody in the chat, Lotus Flower, on our YouTube. She says writing down a checklist for tasks helps me get them done when I'm not motivated. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, we just
Absolutely.
talked
That is
about
for
that.
sure.
That is
Yes.
very correct.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
for sure. Go ahead, Jason. What you were gonna say? I wanted to read.
Nah, I was gonna say sometimes the thought of what it is that I may go without will outweigh
There you
the
go.
pain or the lack
There
of
you go.
motivation in actually doing it.
There you
Mhm.
go.
So I know if cutting the yard, I got a couple of acres. I know it might rain this weekend, and if it's warm outside, if it rains and I don't cut it this weekend, I'm gonna have to spend even more time and a lot more wear and tear on everything.
Yeah.
I'm probably still gonna have to do it the following weekend, but it's gonna be that much more higher, right? It's gonna take me that much longer. It's gonna tear up the lawnmower that much, go through the blades and stuff. So sometimes I don't feel like getting out there and doing certain things, but you know what? I take the pride in the fact that I get a chance to do it. It is my responsibility. See, when you come into, I used to have this conversation with people back in the day. When you come into life with a chore mindset, everything is a challenge. But when you think about it from a responsibility mindset, and I'll explain what that means in a second, you start to take a different set of pride. There's a different set of pride that goes into that. When you think of it as a chore, to me, that's more of a childish mindset. Oh, I gotta fold these clothes. Oh, it's a chore. Oh, is this, is that. Think about the people who don't have clothes to fold. Think about the people with dirty clothes. Think about the people who don't, what I'm saying, who can't change clothes and everything else. So that you think about it from that standpoint, it just becomes a responsibility. And it's like, hey, you know what? I'm blessed.
Yeah.
This is my opportunity to do something and not only fold the clothes and get them put up that are now clean, but also keep the house looking good because now they're not all over the couch. Now they're not here. Now they're not there. So, you just find different reasons and motivations, it can become a compounding thing. You know what I mean? Like you was talking about earlier. So you get up at 3 o'clock to be at the gym at 4. It's a compounding thing. So even when you are unmotivated, you drink your water and you push through. But I guarantee you 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour after you get done working out and you get back home and get cleaned up, you get that rush, that blood flow, that oxygen, the muscles, you get all of that.
And a lot of times I literally, especially depending on contingent on how much rest I actually got that night before, and to take a quick nap. And still be up before the sun comes up, which is so dope because I'm up so early. I still
got time to lay back down.
Yeah, I can literally come take a nap and then literally still be up before the sun rises. And I'm like, that is so freaking cool to me when you really think about it. Like I left, I went to go work out, I came back, I took a nap, got back up before the sun came up, went walked the dog, did this, that, all these different things, and you still saying, and you still looking like, wow, it's just like 6:45. Like,
and you've already done all of these things, all these activities.
It's so dope. Yeah, it's super, super dope.
I love it.
But and two, another thing too that I've learned to keep myself going is knowing at the end of the day that I'm breaking a cycle of what has happened for decades and generations of the women in my family. That is another thing that literally keeps me driven to keep going because I know what the other generations before me did not do and what the result was of them not doing it. And I want to make certain that when my daughters see me, they like, you know what, mama, one thing mama gonna do is she gonna exercise. If she ain't got a YouTube video on, she in the if like some mornings when it's pouring out, it's real crazy out there, and I'm like, I'm not getting out of that mess. I will literally go get all of my equipment from out of the garage, bring it on into the house, turn my videos on, and still do whatever the workout that I needed to do for that morning. Period. So I
Mhm.
think another thing too is to learn the importance of never having an excuse
Mm-hmm.
for what you know must happen. Um, it's like I mean, just think about it from a just a cleanliness standpoint. There's no way I'm going to get up in the morning and go journey into my day, put on a fresh set of clothing, and not cleanse my body.
Exactly.
Not gonna happen.
No,
Not
no,
gonna happen.
I agree.
And so, like when you think about something like that, when you think, and that may seem so small, but that run routine could literally transform other areas of your life to say, oh, if this is something I would never do, then I can take this same never do attitude into other areas of my life and make that
Mm-hmm.
same strong application. If I know emphatically that I'm never going to walk out of my house for a whole day to face a whole day, put on brand new clean clothing, clean undergarments, and not cleanse my body, oh, that's never gonna happen. No,
Mm-hmm.
that's not right. So take that same energy into other areas of your life. Like use that as like your catalyst for adding that same mantra to other areas. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
just not optional. Period.
And after, and like the young lady was saying earlier, she write down her goals and everything else. Check them off as you
Yeah.
go through the day.
Yeah.
Definitely.
There is something psychological about doing that. I mean, it may or may not work for everybody, but for most people, just putting a little right next to whatever that goal was is a sense of accomplishment and a motivator.
Yeah, for sure.
You
For
trigger
sure.
certain endorphins in your body, and you
Mm-hmm.
respond to them. And you got to think anything a personal accomplishment, it brings you happiness. You
Yeah.
trigger
Mm-hmm.
that, so you figure out what triggers keep you happy. But that takes self exploration.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
can't do that if your mind is always clouded with other things all the time.
Right.
Very true.
Like you
Right.
said, what you saying earlier, Coffee, about monitoring your surroundings.
Yeah.
That plays a big part, I
That's
think.
a huge one for
Yeah.
sure.
Like I said, I'm big on energy, and if you surround yourself with things that sap your energy, quote unquote, energy vampires, Debbie
Mm,
Downers, whatever you want to call it, that'll
Mm-hmm.
suck you up, and you carry that with you. You bring it into your
absolutely.
home,
Yeah.
Yeah.
into your personal space.
Yeah. That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a
And
Big
very
time.
good
some people don't think that actually exists. They don't think that where you go and the people you associate yourself with and the environments you associate yourself with, how that plays a big part on your psyche and your decisions, what you do.
It plays a huge part.
Yes, it does.
And
Definitely.
another thing too is to make sure that you have people in your immediate circle that you can be accountable to. You got to have
Mm-hmm.
somebody in your immediate circle that can challenge you on what it is you're thinking and how you're moving. And that helps to really help with maintaining those patterns of behavior that you need to be geared towards success. Every successful person has an inner circle of individuals that they're accountable to. There's no successful
Mm-hmm.
person that does not have an inner
Mhm.
circle of people that they're accountable to. They're not just accountable to themselves, they're accountable to somebody else for
They
sure.
have to be.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah, you're right.
And it's funny because one of the things you just said, and it anybody who's ever listened to us on these calls, there's one of the things that we constantly say, and that's to challenge yourself. Accept
Yeah.
Mhm.
challenges. Look for challenges. You just said it a minute ago, just haphazardly, and wasn't even paying attention to it. You was talking about how you challenge yourself to do certain things and how you have to do that. Anybody who is successful, like you just said, literally, I'm just reiterating, you have to put some type of challenge forth for you to grow. If you
Yeah.
don't make yourself uncomfortable, you will never grow. If you think about how you build muscle, you must first tear that muscle down and then it grows a little bit bigger. Then you
Yeah.
tear
Mhm.
it down, then it grows a little bit bigger. Well, what's one of the side effects of doing that? Being sore.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if you continue to work out, and everybody in here has worked out, if you continue to work out, it's very ironic that you go from being in pain to actually finding pleasure in some of that soreness.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? I know that sounds crazy to some people, but
No.
at some point it doesn't hurt. It's actually somewhat pleasurable, and you start to realize that there's a benefit to that,
Man,
and you look forward to it. And when you don't get a little bit sore, you're disappointed.
You get that sweet spot, like you get
man,
Right. So
man.
when you think about the psyche
Yeah,
in that, you go
yeah.
from pain to continuously doing small things to make it better. Maybe you overdid it the first time, but you stayed there and you stayed the course,
Mm-hmm.
and you made yourself uncomfortable to the point to where now you look forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
And when you don't do it, now that's the pain.
Mm. No,
Yeah.
Rick James. I hear you over there quoting to Rick James.
Okay. That's funny.
Let's
That's
raise for offering. No, just play.
not the Rick James. Too funny.
Hey man,
Rick James.
yeah. He didn't think I was gonna catch it. I was just letting him play it out.
Prophet
I
Rick
wasn't
James.
trying to quote Rick James, but I mean,
Oh,
hey,
okay.
it was just a good point.
Prophet
Got it.
Rick James.
Yeah,
That's funny.
Something wrong with
got it.
him. We're gonna
That
trade him
is
in on a
too
new
funny.
model.
Hey, this
Well,
model here.
listen, guys, it has been an amazing conversation on tonight. I mean, every week we definitely look forward to having these dialogues and really kind of tapping in. We were talking about last week about the mind, and this week we were talking about, making certain that we understand our drivers and what motivates us to be successful and what we need to do to keep ourselves actively engaged in our own wins. That's so
Mhm.
very important. It's just important that we give ourselves permission to be great. Give ourselves permission to be great. And then surround yourself with individuals that want to see you become that great individual that they know you can be. And then have the people that you're accountable to for the path that you're on. Because somebody wants to see you cross the finish line.
Mhm.
Somebody wants to see you cross the finish line. And you got to have those people in your corner that say, you know what, I'm right here. I'm literally on the trail waiting for you to get to this place at this finish line. I'm on the trail with you. I got your water on the sidelines. I got your towel on the sidelines. I got the signs on the sidelines just with your name on it, cheering you on. And we need those people in our lives to
Mhm.
really, really help us along this journey. Life is, and it's so interesting. It's going to have some opposition, like Jason was talking about. It's going to have some great highs, but those highs turn into valleys real quick. We never know when that valley of life is going to show up. But in the middle of the valley, can you still be married to your decision? Can you still be married to the choice that you made for your life to be the winning life that you want to live? So listen, we are excited and grateful for every person that's tuned in and tapped in. The audience is getting bigger and bigger, and we're so excited. We're just expanding and growing, especially on our YouTube channel, which is super exciting. Thank y'all for being here. Definitely connect with these two amazing guys. They're doing some awesome things. They're always doing something amazing. Grab one of their books, get them the autograph for you, DM them, say, hey, I want to grab one of your books. Please autograph it for me and connect with them. Find out what they're doing and just be a part of the incredible journey that they're on, myself included as well. But we appreciate you guys. There's definitely no us without you. And so we thank you for
Mhm.
joining us each and every week. And until next time, remember, be good to you, but greater than that, be good to those that are connected to you. Grace and peace. And
Mhm.
we'll see you guys on another edition of the P Coffee Brown Show. Good night, everybody.